Minimalism. Let's skip the surface of owning less stuff and talk about creating more space in our minds for what truly matters. At its core, minimalism is about rejecting the idea that having more things taking place in one's life makes you a more successful person. This doesn't necessarily have to do with possessions. It has more to do with removing the clutter in your mind and zoning in on what truly matters in your life.
For example, around 2 months ago, I quit my job, said goodbye to all my friends, hopped on a plane and flew out of my beautiful home city of Vancouver, Canada, all the way across the country into an extremely small town in New Brunswick, Canada, back in with my parents so I could focus on my online ventures and my health. And by doing this, I eliminated eating out, partying, going out with friends, pretty much all distractions, dating. Sounds pretty crazy, right? Well, so far, it has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made. I feel happier, I feel healthier. I have so much time to focus on my passions like this YouTube channel. And overall, it has definitely just been one of the greatest decisions I've made in my life. The only one downside is my stepdad is basically the opposite of the material side of minimalism. So I just have to make do with the spaces that I occupy.
Of course, getting rid of clutter in your home is a terrific place to start, but that truly is only the surface level of minimalism. The more profound level of minimal living is intentional living. Looking at your life from a bird's eye view and understanding what things genuinely are valuable and have meaning. And once you determine what those are, you remove absolutely everything else out of your life. This could include relationships that no longer serve you, toxic ways of thinking, destructive habits, unnecessary possessions, time-wasting activities. Doing this will take time, but as you continue to remove these things, you replace them with more intentional ways of living. Relationships that help you grow, logical and objective ways of thinking, habits that serve you towards your purpose and passions, keeping only the necessary possessions, focus and determination on your daily tasks, having intention behind everything you do, in turn leading to a more meaningful life full of the people and things you love. Essentialism.
Now, this philosophy lies in decision. Similar to minimalism, it's about saying yes to the things that truly matter and saying no to the things that don't.
Pursuing success by being passive and saying yes to everything is a recipe for pretty dramatic failure. Giving up your integrity to please your boss or friend won't get you any closer to what you would like for your life. Usually it will take you further and further away, surrendering your power to choose.
Essentialism is about saying yes to the opportunities that line up with your values, allowing you to be intentional in your ventures, only focusing on what's essential and meaningful to you, not anybody else, just you.
Your ability to say no is at the core of essentialism. Learning to forego the short-term disappointment the other person may feel. Usually if it's your friend, they'll understand. If it's your boss, that might be a little more difficult. It could be time to rethink if that career path lines up with your values. The more you say no, the more room you have to say yes when the right opportunity presents itself. Learning to be wise and thoughtful with how you use your time. Focusing on what will reap the highest amount of reward in exchange for how much effort is required. Being an essentialist allows you to stop working hard on the things that don't matter and put your efforts into the things that do, reaping greater rewards in all areas of your life.
So how do you determine what's essential to you? How do you find out what stays and what goes? What to pursue and what not to? Well, the author of Essentialism, Greg McKeown, has broken it down into 3 parts: explore, eliminate, and execute.
It's important to give yourself time to be bored, a time to escape, a period of time where you can think clearly about what needs to be done. Schedule time each day to think about which tasks are vital and which are trivial. McKeown suggests journaling, not to write down everything, but to force yourself to write as little as possible. only focusing on what's essential. As you continue to do this and look back at your entries, it will allow you to see the bigger picture, keeping you focused instead of being distracted by non-essentials.
As adults, we tend to take life pretty seriously, not giving ourselves time to play like when we were kids. Whether it's skateboarding or shooting hoops or whatever allows you to release stress, it's important to schedule play into our weeks to allow our minds to be creative and generate new ideas.
McEwen emphasizes the vast importance of something rather simple that many abuse, which is a good night's sleep. How much more important is it than play and escaping and basically everything else? Society would have you believe the less sleep, the harder you must be working, but the opposite takes effect. You're less productive, your mind is irritable and stressed. How can you focus on what's essential when your mind is in a state of unrest? Now that you've had a good night's sleep and gave yourself time to escape and play, it's time to be very intentional and select what's essential in your life.
McEwen suggests to only say yes to the things that make you want to say, hell yes, or heck yes if you're religious. Basically, only the things that give you that 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10 feeling according to your values and goals.
Now, removing the essentials may seem like a daunting task, as you have emotional connections to those things or relationships. You can do this through using essential intent. To help you with this, you can use a tool called the 90% rule. Determine the criteria for the elimination, score it between 0 and 100 for how essential it is in your life, and anything less than 90% is non-essential. Going back to the phrase, hell yes, or hell no. Be honest with yourself. Don't just say yes because you don't want to see it go. And don't just say yes because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Let go of your emotional bond and think objectively about what is truly essential.
Being an essentialist means you're prepared. You give yourself enough time to go from task to task, so if something goes wrong, you can adjust accordingly without sacrificing the quality of your efforts. If you're a student, this might mean giving yourself an extra hour to study, even though you know you probably won't need it. Taking the pressure off yourself, allowing yourself to think clearly and objectively.
Create a plan for progress, breaking down your tasks into small objectives, small wins that create momentum. In my own life, when I'm working at my computer, I'll have myself work for 30 minutes, and if I'm flowing nicely, I'll let myself continue. And if not, I'll take a 5-minute break. Sometimes I'll go outside for some fresh air, allowing my mind to clear, appreciate the work I've done so far, then get back into it. Staying focused, not allowing yourself to get distracted, is the key to being an essentialist.
Now, you may look at minimalism and essentialism as being very similar, and that's because they are. In many ways, if you become a minimalist, you become an essentialist, and vice versa. They both lie in intent. If you just get rid of a bunch of things and don't really have clear intentions behind why you're doing it, it's kind of pointless. Having clear intentions behind your choices and actions is what allows you to have a more fulfilling life in the pursuit of less.
Finding that intent is something that's not talked about enough. Determining how you would like to lead an intentional life can be daunting, especially if you've never really thought about it. It lies in your core values, your daily routines and habits, your goals and aspirations, your principles and beliefs, your health. All these kinds of things fall into leading an intentional life, and subjects I will be making videos on in a new series called Intentional Living. If that interests you and you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you can learn to lead and join me on my journey of an intentional life.